What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to R44's channel. Today you have seen there's a G87 M2 behind us. You've seen this car in many different countries, but we are now in the UK in our workshop. So we're going to take it back down to the roots. The most popular mod so far in any M car that we've sold is a wheel spacer. Wheel spacers are essential. They are needed for any car. If you look at this now, you can't see the wheels, which is a shame, but we're here to resolve that, and so is Bimek. So Bimek is a spacer company, originates from Italy, and it is just pure quality. People love and hate spacers. Some people have bad things to say, some people have great things to say. We've so far have got great things all round. We've sold thousands of sets of spacers with great feedback, but we only trust one brand, and that is Bimek. We also have H&R and iBat that do spacers, and again, they are great, but that's all we'll trust. But Bimek spacers, you've got two differences, just so you know. Some have a pressed insert, some don't. So this is a non-pressed, fully machined spacer. This is a pressed insert. The reason for this is just to get the 12mm spacer with the 66.6 bore size and everything to work correctly. Bimek have had to make it like this for safety. This one, because it's thicker, they can have it like this. So if you have any questions, that's the reason why they are different, and that's just how it is. But the most important thing is safe. So in the box, when you order a set of spacers, you can get two spacers. So if you just wanted to widen up the rear, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'd always buy 4 spacers. We're gonna go on this car, Dylan. So Dylan behind the camera, he's chosen it, so it's down to him. But we're gonna go for a 12 and 15 mil spacer. Dylan, is it 15 on the front and 12 on the rear? Or is it swapped around? We think, let me have a look at it. I think let's go for a 12 on the front, 15 on the rear. That is the organic way to go. Same with the G8X and a lot of other cars. So you got 4 spacers in the box. You get a series of bolts, so you get extended bolts. You've added on 15mm. You need a bolt that's added on 15mm. You also need a new set of lock and wheel nuts. And now that's all in the box. All of this is available down below in the description to shop online, whether in the UK, US, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, anywhere in the world. You can shop online and get them delivered very quickly. But less than me, let me get this up in the air and I'll show you the how-to. Everybody, is now spacer time. So the car's up on your ramp. If you're just doing it on your drive, just jack it up, make sure there's an axle stand underneath. So remove the bolts, either you break the bar or use an impact gun like us. Remove the bolts and put them back. What we do, utilize your lovely Bimek box. It's been delivered in, put all your stock bolts, including the locker, inside there. We use a little guide pin. Remove your wheel, like so. Place it down. This is a brand new car with about 12 miles on the clock. So it is spotless. What we normally do is give it a little clean down, use a wire brush if it's an older car. We use a bit of grease. Put it everywhere. I'm just going to remove this bit here. Grease it up. This will prevent the spacer from kind of just seizing on, really. Do that, whack that round. You can spin that like that. You then go in with your 12mm. Go like that. Again, get as much grease, disperse it everywhere. Line up the holes once more. Do on all the connections, so anywhere it's metal to metal, you want to grease it. The more grease, don't go too much because you don't want it to be between the wheel. Again, put your little bit in there. Grab your wheel, throw it up. These are fresh. Use your guide pin, put it on. Grab your new extended bolts, put it in, tighten it up, and ensure that you torque your wheels up. You know, just check your user manual, get the correct torque them up, and torque them up twice. Do them when the cars drop down on the ramp, and then drive around the block and then torque them up once more. And quick one with the Bimek lockers, they'll come like this or in a plastic box. Always use, can I get in? This a little bit harder. This is the locking wheel nut key. Use a 19mm socket. Don't use the 17, that may spin. If you use a 19, it's nice and locked on. So just do your locking wheel nut, and then you're gonna find us. I'm gonna do the same thing on the rear now. I'm gonna drop the car down and I'm gonna show you what the 1215 looks like. All right, everybody, the car is now off the floor. I presume they would have seen a bit of B-roll, Dylan, how good it looks. So the spacers, as you know, just make such a big difference. But we did rush into things a little bit. We did lower the car, so we have now slammed it on a Cobra height adjustable suspension system, which just looks amazing. But the main focus is the spacer. So this side is a 12 and a 15 setup, so 12 more on the front, 15 on the rear, which I think is a very good OEM plus finish. If you just want to bring the wheels out ever so slightly, this is perfect. I think, you know, I would settle for this. We then have another option, because obviously this is great for, let's say, half the market. What about the other half that wants something a bit more aggressive? So we trialed that. Dylan will show you now the 20/20 setup. So a 20mm spacer on the front and a 20mm on the rear. And this is where the wall of the tire is really pulled out. But if you look down here now on the 12, the edge of this tire is around, I'd say about 4mm out from this edge of the fender. And then looking at the rear, this is near on perfect. So the edge of the fender, the rear quarter, is on the edge of the tire. So this is pretty good as a 12/15 setup for those kind of guys, but having a look at the 20/20 setup's a lot more aggressive. I'm gonna run the 20/20 setup because, Dylan, just swap to this G80 for a second. If we have a look at the G80 setup, again, we always try, G80's got a lot of camber on the front due to the way we run our suspension, but the rear of the tires is just really bulky, just because I'm a fan of big, thick tires and wide setups. But there you go, you have it. I highly recommend the 12/15 for an OEM plus, more aggressive look, either go for a 15/20 or a 20/20. And yeah, everything's down below in the description, guys and girls, for the BMX spacers. We've been selling them for 4 years, going on 5 years, and they are 10 out of 10. I'd say 10 issues, and that's just where fault of fitment and things like that. But yeah, there you have it, G87 M2, now sat on some spacers and some suspension, but suspension will be in a whole nother video that you need to take a look at.